welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing really good today. If you are new to my channel, hi, my name is Lorelei. Thank you so much for clicking on today's video. On Tuesdays and Thursdays I post sit down videos where I talk through all my social media tips and tricks. I would absolutely love it if you subscribe to my channel today so you don't miss a video, and I'd really love it if you like this video and left me a nice comment asking any questions that you might have, and I will make sure to answer it or answer it in a future video sharing more tips and tricks on that topic. So let's get straight into today's video. I still don't know what I'm calling today's video. I think it's mostly to do with Instagram stories is what I'm going to talk about today, but I also have a couple other things I'm going to mention in it, so it's not going to be completely about Instagram stories. It's going to be like a couple Instagram tips and tricks that I really like and I want to share with you guys so you can use them, but a lot of little tricks I have to do with Instagram stories, as I've had a few messages on my management page on Instagram asking how I do a couple of things, so I thought I'd put together a video and show you guys today. So let's get straight into today's video. I think when Instagram stories first came out we were a bit like, what is this? Where's it come from? And now I feel like we can't live without it. It's honestly one of my favourite features on social media, and I don't particularly use Snapchat like at all, and I feel like this has like filled that gap for me. I think stories just elevated the platform and I absolutely love them, and I know a lot of people utilise them, especially if you're a business owner watching this or you would like to grow your Instagram. Stories is such a great way to do so. It is a free tool that you can be using. It's like the next level of posting, so instead of just posting pictures on your feed, you can post real-time content of what you're doing right now, and your audience, if they're on Instagram, will see it immediately, and it's a great way of connecting with your audience. So if you're not using Instagram stories, I really implore you to use them every single day. I have been talking to other social media managers and we've kind of discussed how you need to show up on stories every single day. If you want to grow on Instagram, it's a really good idea to really show up on Instagram stories every single day. Now I know that's a lot, and if you aren't posting on stories and you're like, whoa, that's a lot, how do I do that? We can start small, start slow, post maybe once, twice, 3 times a week on your Instagram stories, and slowly build up to what you know and what you like. Build up your confidence with posting on stories because it is immediate, and build up your knowledge of what you could post on your stories so that you're not running out of ideas. You know what you want to post, so you have ideas for every single day of the week. It's definitely a great tool to reach your audience, especially if you have something immediate you want to ask them or immediate you want to share that you want them to know right then. It's the perfect tool to be using. So a few tips behind Instagram stories. I would immediately share your new post onto your Instagram stories. You can easily do this. So if you post on Instagram, press the share button and it will say add to story. Make sure you're adding it to story. Make sure you're using your hashtag. If you guys know what you're doing with your hashtags, you know that we can put up to 30 hashtags on an Instagram post. But if you didn't know, you can put up to 8 hashtags on your Instagram stories, and you should be utilizing this every single story. So you want to be using 8 hashtags on every single one of your stories. Now you're probably thinking, and you've probably seen that you've seen people put a couple hashtags on their Instagram stories, or maybe just one. If they're talking about a certain product, for example, they might tag the brand and might hashtag the brand or use the brand's like hashtag that they tell you to use. That is what you've probably seen on Instagram, but you probably haven't seen or known that everyone is probably putting up to 8 hashtags on their stories, but they're hiding them so you don't see them, especially on most of my talking Instagram stories. I have hashtags there. I just hide them so you don't see them. It just makes it look a bit neater. It hides the like marketing side, but the marketing side is still working for me. So what I want you to do is start a brand new text box on your Instagram stories and write out your 8 hashtags. As soon as you're over it, your hashtags will stop being underlined. So the first 8 hashtags will be underlined. That's how you know those are the hashtags that are going to be used. If you put 9 or 10, 2 of them at the bottom won't have underlined and they're not doing anything. So don't even bother putting them. Then what I want you to do is pinch the text super small, and actually I think if you shrink it down and make it small, it'll literally turn into a tiny white dot, and that's quite easy to hide. But at the same time, if you start another text box, so what I like to do is put images or stickers on my Instagram story, or if I'm writing captions of what I'm saying, there are different options for the text. So I like to tap on it and create a border around my text, and then you tap on your hashtags, pull it down to underneath the text, tap on your captions and it will cover the hashtags so you can't see them. That means that they can't be seen then, they're hidden, the hashtags are there working for you, but no one has to see them. So let me know how that goes for you guys. If you want to see any more tips on that, head over to my Instagram, but you can easily hide and shrink down these hashtags. Then what I want you to do to increase engagement through your stories is to click on one of these hashtags. So one at a time, click through your hashtags, click on the first one on your Instagram stories, go through and like a couple of posts, view a couple of the stories in that hashtag, and repeat the same process for all 8 hashtags. And that kind of increases the story engagement and will hopefully get you some more views on your stories. You're doing the same for your Instagram post with the Instagram hashtags on your post. You're going through and interacting with some of those hashtags. It's basically the same concept just for your stories. So I have a list also with Instagram stories. It's easy to make them different, so you can share your post to your Instagram stories, use a sticker saying new post so people know that there's a new post out. If someone is on Instagram and their feed is refreshing quite fast, we all know the algorithm isn't in order of when people post, it's completely random. So putting a new post share onto your Instagram stories will come up at the top for them, so they can click on it and see, oh, this person's posted, it didn't come up on my feed, but I can go and look at that post. It's just a little way of helping your audience find your post if they didn't find them through the normal Instagram feed. So I do recommend you doing that. I make sure to do that. I make sure to keep along with my brand colours and theme when I'm doing that, which is what I'm going to talk you through in a moment. So instead of just sharing it onto my stories and leaving it at that, I use some relevant hashtags to do with the post. I use a sticker that says new post because Instagram loves it when you use some of their things. So if you click on the add button on your stories, stickers will appear, music will appear, polls will appear, things like that, questions that you can add to your stories. If you add a sticker, Instagram will like it because you're using some of their stuff. I like to make sure the background of that is a colour that works for my branding, which is super easy to do, and then I share that onto my Instagram stories. When it comes to branding and theme, this works through everything. Now I'm sure if you guys are just like me, you want to make sure you have a perfect brand theme and colours going across your whole Instagram. I am just like this, I can't help it. I want everything to be cohesive and lovely, and I'm going to talk you through how we can do that on our stories as well. So what I want you guys to do, and this is quite easy to do, is find 5 colours that represent you and your brand. If you are a social media manager like me, 5 colours that you want to keep everywhere, or if you are a business, 5 colours that obviously go along with the brand that you already have, your business. What are your brand colours? And you want to use these colours throughout everything. So on my Instagram I have quite a beige, quite neutral, kind of slightly pink theme going on. So all of my Instagram posts kind of recycle all the same colours constantly, and on Canva, which is a program I love and I know you guys probably love it as well, I have those colours saved in my branding theme so I can always make sure I'm using the right colours. Now what I want you guys to do is to make sure that when people click on their stories they go, oh, that's that person's brand, that's that feed that I love, and it's now on their stories, and I love that everything is cohesive. So what I do is I have 5 long screenshots of just the plain colour. So when I go onto my Instagram stories, I can click add photo, I can add that colour, I can use the paint tool to pick up that colour and make the background that colour, or make any text the colour of my theme. So I can copy over those colours. What I want you guys to do is find those colours that you love for your brand, screenshot them, and then you can transfer them into your stories and use the colours. So if you use the pen tool and drag it across each colour, you can then pick what colour the text is, pick what colour the background is, and it will all be in line with your branding. And it's definitely worth doing that. It takes a couple minutes to do, and it means everything is cohesive, and people like that. People like to see the consistency there. Another tip with Instagram stories is it's definitely so important to show up on there, just to show your face as well. I know it can be nerve-wracking to talk on stories for the first time. You don't have to do it face to face immediately. You can show some products and talk about them behind the camera, and eventually turn the camera onto yourself to show them what you are saying. So I like to keep the ratio kind of 80-20 really when it comes to this, maybe 70-30 depending what you're doing. The smaller percentage will be you saying what you're selling, buy this is a new product I have out, but keeping it quite low because people don't want to constantly hear buy this, they will think, oh, this person or this brand, which I don't know anything about, is constantly just wanting me to buy things, and they don't care. Whereas having that 70-80% of the time you showing your face, showing behind the brand, showing that there is a person behind the selling that really cares about their customers, that brings a rapport with your customer and will bring them back to you. Talking on your stories, talking about your business, literally any facts you may have behind the scenes, why you decided to create it. People love that kind of thing, and it's definitely important to bring it to your stories. It brings it in real time, and it really shows that you care about what you are doing. So like I said, use every feature that Instagram has to offer on your stories. I would suggest add music sometimes if it is relevant, if you're showing a product or you're just doing like a kind of silent montage. Add a popular song onto your stories, there's a music tab for that. Add pictures on top, make sure you're making collages, make it look interesting. There are questions and poll stickers that you can add to your stories. You want to be doing this at least one time a week. Do a couple of polls, maybe ask 1 or 2 questions. Keep it specific to your brand, but also keep it vague. Ask them general questions that get your audience thinking, but you can also ask them specific questions to do with your brand so that you kind of get that immediate feedback. And the same thing happens with polls. That sparks that extra interaction with your audience. They'll want to click on the poll. It's so easy for them to do so, even easier than the question sticker. So maybe do 1 or 2 polls a week, and that'll really help with interactions on your stories. There is also the slide, which can show how much someone likes something in a really easy and quick interaction. It takes no effort on your audience's part to do so, so I definitely recommend using that a couple of times. Maybe if you're a product-based company or selling something, you can kind of gauge your audience like for different types of products you're selling. There are 2 more things that I believe on stories can be really, really important. You can add location on your stories, and I think sometimes this is a really good idea because it localizes what you're doing, and at the same time, and kind of in the same way, it niches down what you're doing. So if you're selling a service, you're selling a product, someone who is in the area that you live in or you're selling in will click on the location to look at what's around them sometimes. I do it sometimes, and they will then see what you are doing, and it localizes, it niches down your stories for you. So I definitely recommend putting in your location, and I definitely recommend doing that on your posts as well. The other thing you can do at the moment, there are some new stickers. So if you scroll down a little bit, the support small business sticker is there. Now I highly recommend doing this, not too much, you don't want to overuse it, but every so often use a small business sticker. If you're particularly showing a really nice story about your business, or you've got some really nice pictures that you're sharing on your stories, add the small business sticker. Nearly everyone is obsessed with small businesses at the moment and supporting them, especially in the current climate. People want to be supporting small businesses. Literally, I've just ordered some Christmas presents all off small shops off Etsy because it's just so, it's nicer. I know that the money is going to a business who will appreciate it, and it's so important, and I know a lot of you feel the same. So add that sticker on and it will spark an interest, and also adding it to that will add it to a completely separate story. So it won't just go onto your Instagram story, it will go onto the small business story. And I did this the other day, and I literally saw a double in my audience on one story because I added the small business sticker. So I hope this video was helpful. I just wanted to talk about specifically stories today and a couple of tips and tricks I have. If you have any questions or anything you want to ask to do with stories or anything else, leave me a comment down below. I will make sure to answer it in the comments down below. I will also be doing more videos on this type of thing, and if you guys have any ideas, then please just message me and I will do some more videos on this. I would love it if you like this video and subscribed to my channel so you don't miss a new video, and I will see you in my next video. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Bye.